After the last video that we made on GTA 6, one of the things I saw a lot in the comments, because we were talking about whether or not GTA 6 would get delayed going into 2026. And a lot of people were saying, oh, if it won't get delayed, because if it gets delayed, it's going to ruin the game. And I don't think people realize how wrong that is. And I think a perfect example of this is in a video by someone by the name of Jetro here. He makes a video about the GTA 6 mapping project. Now, if you don't know what this is going to blow your mind, but I think this is an excellent example of how like entrenched, in depth, and detailed the GTA 6 community is committed and ready for this game. So let's just like start by like hearing like what this is and like what it's become, and then we'll tie that into if this game gets delayed and what that means.
2023, I made a video about the GTA 6 map.
So just to be clear, 2023, like 2 years ago, maybe not quite that many, but.
And back then, the map looked like this. But over a year later, it has evolved to instead be this.
So if you don't know, like before he gets into it, this is the alleged map of GTA 6. It goes from Gator Keys to Vice City, Port Gellhorn, and then there's even rumors that they're going to be building out all of Fort Lauderdale up here. So Vice City is essentially like Miami, and then into Fort Lauderdale up here. There's rumors that all of this is going to be completely built out, and then the community has taken what they've seen in trailers and leaks and literally built this map. And when you see the amount of detail people have put into this is just what people are doing from leaks and what they've seen. This isn't even the actual game.
So once again, I wanted to give a quick update about this project and see where it's at now. We will detail all about how this project is being completed, what changes have been made, and how we can expect it to look closer to release.
So they've built out like the 3D model of it, and obviously they just have some skyscrapers, things like that.
So without further ado, this is the updated progress of the GTA 6 mapping project. First, what
game has that community? Like Call of Duty will like take leaks and extrapolate what the game is going to be about. That's one of the things that I do. But like to build an entire map
is the mapping project. Well, the name gives a pretty clear meaning to it, but for those who haven't clued in, the GTA 6 mapping project is a group of about 50 mappers led by project manager Dupsor, who are using the trailers and leaks to accurately map out GTA 6 before it's even released. Now, most people are thinking, what do you mean? How can someone map GTA 6 before the game is even out? And yeah, it sounds pretty crazy.
I don't know what that noise was.
But the thing that most people may not be aware of is that this same project was actually completed for GTA 5 as well. And it's almost scary how accurate it turned.
Like in a wild way, how accurate. So this is not the first time this has happened.
Out to be. The GTA 5 mapping project was somewhere around 95% accurate, with only a few landmarks and roads either missing or placed incorrectly.
And like, this is what's interesting, right? Is all they need is like another trailer, another little snippet put out, image, things like that. And all of a sudden the map becomes more accurate and more accurate, because again, these areas are based off of real world areas, but then GTAized, if that's a...
And remember that all of this was mapped using just a few trailers and some screenshots, while GTA 6, on the other hand, also has 90 leaked clips to help with the mapping as well. And here is how they're doing it. First, you need to start with a blank canvas that has coordinates on it. These coordinates act as a 1-to-1 scale for Rockstar's Rage engine that's being used to make GTA 6 in the first place. Next, they need to find areas that the player has been in order to pinpoint specific landmarks on the map. Luckily for the mappers, all of the leaked footage, a part of the 2022 leaks, had coordinates to where the player was standing,
which like helps so much,
relative to the Rage engine on the bottom black bar of the screen. So by taking these coordinates found in the leaks, they've placed a white dot representing that specific location, and then they can use this info and a bit of speculation to essentially create a border for the entire map. Using this method is how we're able to know that GTA...
So just to be clear, like as of right now, like this is Florida, I believe, that they're using just as a whole here. But like this point to this point, this is what has been confirmed for a map size. So you got to assume that like within the border of all of that, there's going to be locations, roads, things along those
GTA
lines.
6's map is roughly about 2 times the size of GTA 5's. Both GTA 5
Insane.
and GTA 6 are created using the Rage engine. And since the mapping project is using coordinates on a 1-to-1 scale, they can import GTA 5's map into those same coordinates, and we get a map that is roughly double the size.
Roughly.
Now, don't get me wrong on this one. It is a still very highly speculative map. For reference, all of the orange outlines on the map represent a speculative border with little data, while the black outlines are the ones that we know are 100% correct.
So those are the ones that have been seen.
But now that they have a rough outline of the map laid out, they can then use the footage from the trailers and leaks to place buildings and landmarks into the map.
Like the point where they use like coordinates and things like that makes sense, right? Like that lines up with like what you can do with game dev and things like that. Where they use the trailers and then points of reference and then real world location, this is the part that's insane to me.
Now, obviously, because the trailer doesn't use coordinates and the leaks are mostly stationary, this placing of certain landmarks is mostly done through either triangulation while also using some speculation. But I will say that the dedication from these mappers can't be understated. In fact, to help them with mapping, they've used real-world locations and maps to predict where landmarks are. They've gone through every leaked clip to spot reoccurring areas, and they've even created 4K renders of all 2,276 frames of Trailer 1. With all of this, they've been able to pinpoint the prison Lucia is held up in during Trailer 1, the Vice City.
That's wild to me. Like that prison that she's in? How do you triangulate where that is? It's a prison. You're not supposed to know where it is.
The airport, most of Port Gellhorn, which is another named location, and as well as Lake Leonido. Now, even more impressive is that using all of this data the mappers have put together, YouTuber Darkspace has taken this data and imported a 1-to-1 scale of the GTA 6 map into
So he essentially built GTA before GTA came out.
GTA 5. He started by first dropping a low-res texture of the map so he could just get a sense of the map's actual size, proving that, at least based on the findings of the project, the map is indeed double the size of GTA 5's. But after not quite being satisfied with that alone, he has also started to make a more detailed and partly 3D version of the map as well, essentially making
and then labeled it GTA 5 Vice.
GTA 6 before Rockstar. That might be a bit of an exaggeration on my part, but since it's the closest we're going to get till the game's release this year, I highly recommend checking out his progress with the link in the description. But while this project has been trying to do everything they can using as
look at all of the locations,
much fact as possible, there is one section of the map that has caused a lot of controversy, and they still don't know the real answer. When you look at the mapping project from a year ago versus the one today, what is the biggest difference that you notice?
Right here. Right there.
Sure, some people might say the actual detail they added to the map, but the real biggest change to the map is the panhandle in the top left. Now,
I wasn't even looking at that because there was nothing actually put up there. But if you go to let's go back to it. Okay, so yeah, they added a whole top part above the lake. I was looking down here, the islands have completely changed where the layout is going down in towards the keys.
You notice. Sure, some change to the map is the panhandle in the top left. Now, as you can probably tell, no leaks or trailer footage has been taken at this panhandle. So the real question behind this controversy is, how do we know that it's there?
It's a great question.
There are a few clues for it. The most obvious hint is that adding a panhandle more accurately depicts it to the shape of Florida, which is obviously the state that Leonida is based off of. But by far our biggest clue are the leaked road signs. Within the leaked clips, the mappers were able to find a few road signs that indicate the presence of a panhandle in the top left section.
Because when they show these road signs, they always show the shape of the state. That's one of the things you can do in GeoGuessr.
But the reason that this is so controversial is because beyond these signs, there is no actual evidence to support that it's there. I mean, even the mappers have agreed that the road signs that were present in the leaks could be so much as placeholders for signs that Rockstar just hadn't gotten to yet. Keep in mind that these leaks were possibly taken as far back as 2019.
Jesus.
So the odds of every asset in them being finalized is really hard to say.
No, it's
the signs
zero.
do look exactly like.
No, it's zero. Like, just to be clear, the idea that everything in those leaks is going to be correct is zero, especially if they're from 2019.
Like the ones you'd be able to find scattered around Florida, but without any proof from the leaks or trailers, it is still considered speculation that the Panhandle is even a part of the map.
It almost
it's
seems
most likely
too big
that
and
we
too
will
barren,
have this confirmed with
we'll
either
see.
the next trailer or possibly some screenshots, but again, we have no actual way of proving that it's there. It doesn't help that given over the last year, we have had almost no new info to work off of, so it's incredible that the GTA 6 mapping project has even been able to do as much as they have already. And I think within the coming months, they will have a lot more on their hands. But with talking about the mapping project, I think it's important to bring up one map that is posted absolutely everywhere, which is this highly detailed map that people often think or are at least told is the real thing. Yes,
I haven't actually
this
seen
map
this.
is technically
I
a
have.
part of the mapping project's work, but even they clarify it as a highly detailed map with a lot of speculation, most of which comes from the world event list.
Right, so the world event list is an event list that came through the leaks, which has a massive list of things that you potentially run into, like live events that happen throughout the map.
Compiled from the September 2022 leaks. If you aren't aware of what that is, the leaks from 2022 had uncovered over 300 different interesting events that can be found throughout the world of GTA
Tons,
6.
like I said.
And so, using these events, the mappers put together a highly speculative map of what the map could look like if it included all of these interesting events. But I want to make it very clear that this is not at all a realistic interpretation. You've probably seen this map posted by random Instagram and Twitter accounts and clickbait YouTubers all the time of them saying it's a supposed leak, but it is simply a highly speculative map theorized by the mapping project, and it is not to be taken seriously. You can go to their website and find 5 different versions of the map that all have varying degrees of facts and
I mean, like to be clear, like this is all based off of speculation. Like to say that, oh, like any of these maps are going to be 100% correct, that's wrong. Even the one after all of the GTA 5 stuff came out was still only 95% correct, which is insane. But like at the same time, not 100% correct. There's going to be things that are wrong.
And I left a link in the description as well if you would like to take a look for yourself. But with that, I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the.
So he is the second person, this is the second video of his I think we've watched on the channel. And I must say, I think he makes some of the most down-to-earth, realistic GTA 6 content out there, with just base information, explaining the information, and then not being like, this is insane, this is what GTA 6 is going to look like. He's very clear. He's like, this map that we see here is wild. I'm trying to find, I'm trying to find this one. I just realized I was recording this part and not showing you guys. So let me go through this. So these are the two maps spread years apart. They're basically like 1 year apart. And you can very clearly see vast changes, mainly in the waterways. So you have the port over here to one side, and then this goes down, and then you have these waterways down here towards the Keys. This is, I'm assuming, going to be a good portion of like the marshland area. And then you have the Keys down here, and then Vice City. So the two areas that seem to be mapped out extremely well at this point are Vice City, and then the port over on this side with the airport over here. One area that I don't think has been mapped out very well at all is the actual lake in the middle of the map. Like there's this giant barren area and then a lake. And if like, you know anything about like real world maps, designs, how cities are built, they're always near waterways. So to say this lake is just going to be empty around it, I find that very, very hard to believe. And then this is why I kind of think the panhandle theory isn't great, because we have nothing up here. And maybe they are keeping an entire section of map away from us until we get more, but I'm guessing that this here, the older map where it kind of ends, like the lake at the top is kind of like the border. I think that might be more realistic because we don't have any leaks. We don't have any trailers. We don't have anything that shows that upper portion whatsoever. So I'm thinking it's going to be focused down here. And again, we don't even really have much by that lake. Like that lake doesn't have anything built out around it. So I don't know if we're even going to see that moving forward. But this project is insane. No other game has this sort of following that would do this kind of thing. And I'm very curious to see where this moves going forward with the map as a whole. But needless to say, it's really, really cool. And once we get more trailers, once we get more images, this map is only going to be built out more. And if I was that community, the people who were building it, I'd be so excited for that. It would be killing me that a new trailer hasn't come out yet. But needless to say, awesome project, and we're all excited for GTA 6. We just have no idea when it's coming.